The RBI circular has dealt a body blow to asset reconstruction companies or ARC. Sources indicate that bad loans worth 50,000 crores have not found any takers. To discuss this, I'm being joined by Rudran, the CEO of Arcil. So let me start by talking to you. As far as banks, which in Q2 have seen a dramatic fall in the bad loan sales, firstly, how big is that impact likely to be on businesses?
No, there will be definitely an impact compared to what happened in the last year. In fact, last year gave the trend in the history of ARC industry. That was the first year when maximum sales have taken place, and the trend would have happened in FY15 also. But that has affected to some extent because there is a regulatory concern was there, and then there was a regulatory change which requires more investment by the ARCs. Instead of 5%, it has to be 15%. Which has affected the valuations. Basically, it's not the question of providing 15% by the IRCs. I personally feel that it is because the pricing has been affected. You cannot have a pricing of 595 and 1585 same. The price for 1585 has to be something different than what it was for 595.
But how do you think this is going to impact banks, as they're trying to clean up their books? What sort of impact is going to have on them?
I think, this is only a temporary phenomenon, I feel. There will be a good sense will be prevailed, and the market will, lead in actually having a realistic assessment of the values of the NPAs, in which case both the parties will be benefited. Because by valuing it on a higher basis, neither the banks nor the IRCs are going to be benefited, because ultimately the security receipts will not be redeemed. Our intention should be that this should be a successful sale. Once it is sold to the IRCs, it should be resolved, and the receipts should be redeemed, and the bank should benefit out of it.
But if you're saying a practical solution, so what is that solution on the ground? And also, how are you really, so what are the ways you're exploring and trying to meet these additional needs?
No, as far as financial requirement is concerned, there is no issue. As far as Arcil is concerned, I can tell you there is no issue in organizing 15% for our acquisitions. What is required is the valuations, because when we acquire at a higher value, we should be able to redeem it also. That is why the banks should sell the assets at the net book value, where the investment even at 15% by the IRCs will be limited, and we will be able to, if we are able to get more money out of it, the upside will go back to the banks. So ultimately banks are not going to lose.
Okay, so you're speaking about banks. In fact, banks are suggesting that ARCs like yourself, for example, should come together and form JV, so you'll try and tide over the entire financial crisis, financial mess we're seeing. I want your comments on that. I see you smiling at that suggestion. And are you possibly looking at that?
No, we are not looking at that, because there is no possibilities of having JV, because JVs can be there only when there is a homogeneous people. The IRCs which are there today all are not in the same tenor, you can say. So at least personally, I would not like to have any JVs with anyone, because our philosophy and our approach of business is quite different. So we would like to have, as far as raising resources is concerned, that's no issue for us. We'll be able to raise resources.
That's interesting. So I just want to get one quick last question from you, as far as the view that banks have really been valuing the assets very high. Is that an issue which is emerging? Is that something you've had to confront?
Yeah, that's what exactly, that is the precise point. If the values have been realistic, I think the sales can take place. What happened in the last year can be happened this year also. A large sale can take place, and the NPAs will be resolved, and ultimately SRs will be redeemed, and all will be benefited out of it.
All right, so I appreciate you coming down to our studios to talk about the kind of trends we're picking up as far as bad loans go. We'll take a break. Coming up on the other side, we'll get your comments from President Obama, who's spoken on the immigration reforms. Do stay tuned.